Coming to you from Central Tokyo.
This is Wild Branch Radio. Well, it's great to be back.
We are back.
It's we had a little interval there where we didn't get out episodes as we planned. But,
right, that was not our intention, but that's good.
But it's been busy with a lot of activities, and it seemed like
very full.
The end of May, especially, like everybody scheduled events this second half of May.
That is true. Yeah, we don't like to say where things are busy.
No.
But yeah, it certainly has been very full, with mostly having guests and meetings, and meeting new people and meeting old friends,
right?
Including family.
Right, but it's such an important part actually of any creative endeavor is meeting people.
Right.
And
one of our main things.
Especially in this season right now. And we had just really meeting some amazing people these last 6 weeks or so.
Because you just never know what will develop, right? Through a meeting, a conversation. And
actually that started us talking about what we wanted to talk about today with the kind of people we meet, and or I have to be careful what I say, something I don't mean, but because we've just met so many really wonderful people, but
we were just talking about especially what we enjoy, right? And
but just meeting creative people and people that are out of the box, and so we were just kind of recognizing thinking back, it's like, why did this conversation and this conversation kind of feel
really uplifting
and
encouraging?
Then there was some similarities, but they're in some ways totally unrelated personalities and contexts and things.
Because we're not talking about whether you click based on personality with each other, right? But it's like certain, I guess I would say, outlook on life or attitude.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So what would you say? So we said creative people. What do you mean by that?
It's like people that they have there's a freshness. There's a fresh quality in their perspective.
Yeah. So then you feel fresh as well, right?
Yeah.
Talking to them.
And then it's, because potentially like you can have almost the same kind of conversation with people, and that's not a bad thing exactly, but I think there's so much we don't know compared to what we know, and like new and so many possibilities of things that could be, and that when you're in a pioneer work and you're looking for something new, like we're like this is a pioneer endeavor in what we're in here with Wild Branch here in Central Tokyo. Actually, would you like to talk a little bit about that? When I say pioneer endeavor, there's maybe people that are listening for the first time. They're like, well, what do you mean exactly?
Yeah, and maybe some of you listening, this is your first episode you're listening by us, and you're wondering what is Wild Branch. So just talk about that?
Well, just share it. Well, okay, because you always say, so Kumi always says that. I say always. So I often, like when people are saying, what do you do? And so like I'm quick to say like specific activities that we're engaged in.
Yeah, and then I sometimes tell you, that sounds really boring, right?
Well, I don't know if you say that much, but you say, well, don't forget the heart of what it is, So the big outlook, because the day-to-day activities, they change. You know? So we're doing things with prayer. Right. Our last episode that we aired, we had Brian Heasley from 24/7 Prayer, which are allies. We're doing things with them. We're doing outreach and all that stuff. But
it seems like we do so many different things.
But that's all really in service to a heart to see like the spiritual landscape of Japan change.
Yeah.
And to see something that we haven't seen before.
Right.
So we I've been here. I'm coming up on 3 decades in Japan in ministry, and you see, like, I've just in my time here, I'm seeing a lot of like repeat of certain cycles,
right?
And it's like, wait, we need to not repeat the same kind of things we've done in the past, and
while preserving what's good, preserving the main thing. Yeah.
But I think too, like as a father now of 3 teenagers, I think a lot about the Japan that I hope my kids can live in, or, like on a broader scale, the world that my kids will live in and the next generations, and really giving them something better, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So we often talk about just really dreaming and believing to see a different spiritual landscape,
right?
Especially in this nation, not just in Japan, but especially here. That's something that we always say. And also, I guess what comes out of my heart when I'm asked the question, like, so what is your ministry about, or what is Wild Branch, is that I think, especially in Japan, I feel like, but it's not just Japan. I think it's just really human nature, but it's easy to settle for what's already there, or what other people are already doing, or what we have been told, and to just stay there, good or bad. And I think there's a lot of things that are stirring inside of us, that God has put on the inside of us, that wants to come out. But then often, I think, myself included, we make excuses like, oh, well, that's not possible, or that's not what's done, or that's not the way to do things, or, we can't do this because A, B, and C, or whatever.
Well, it's like we accept the definitions that were given us about environment, about ourselves too.
Yeah.
And, I was thinking about this as for, one specific example. People say, well, in Japan, and this is true, like the churches and the ministries kind of work individually, and you have a lot of people doing things in parallel, and we need to, and then it's like, well, we need to come together or whatever. But, in the future, that just because it's been that way doesn't mean it's destined to stay that way. Like Japan, like 20 years from now, could be known as like the churches and the Christians really work together. Like that's a possibility.
Yeah.
And so there's an element, like there's kind of an optimism. There's like and there's real faith that we should bring into really like not just what's possible, like what can we do, but what does the Lord want to do, and what can He do?
Yeah, so I think I started to say, like, when we are asked what we are about, what comes out of my heart, which sometimes surprised me in the past, is that we want to encourage and inspire people that actually there is another way. When it feels like there's no other option, or there's no other way, to say, actually, there is a different way. There is another way. And let's look at that, right?
So I think kind of back to where we started, like people in conversations can really make you feel and experience that, right? Like it's like, oh, this is something new, and
right.
Oh, I hadn't thought about that before. And especially when they're bringing it, they're bringing those thoughts and those things that's really just the outflow of their life. Like it feels real substantive. Yeah. It's not like big talk or necessarily even big quote unquote vision. But it just something, there's like a freshness, and that really, I think it flows out of their life in God, right?
And like we do meet a lot of experts in different kind of areas and fields, but the kind of people that we feel very encouraged by are ones that even though they have experience, they have knowledge, but they are not willing to just stay there, but they bring their whole selves into the conversation with this attitude of wanting to find out something new, wanting to learn something new, and wanting to explore, through this synergy and connection, what like if there's other things, new things that can come out of it. So I guess it's, we were talking about it. Isn't it humility really that we need in order for us to just really discover and explore what God has?
Yeah. That was a comment you made after we were with a group just recently and walked away, and it was so fun. Yeah, it was fun. Very, like, people with very different backgrounds in a way, but yeah, I think that was a real insight, that it's like, actually creativity and humility really go hand in hand, don't they? Yeah, I think, almost would say always there's creativity and then there's humility. Right. I mean, you have to be, so in exploring, you have to be willing to try new things. You have to be willing to be a learner. You have to be willing to make mistakes, and not feel bad. Right. But I think those people wouldn't even think of it like mistakes, right? In the context of just exploring. But I remember even about myself, when I several years ago, when you remember, I walked into a new kind of work situation, which was totally new, and I was very inexperienced, and I just went into it because it seemed like fun and new. But then I quickly had to confront my own insecurity of being seen as someone who doesn't know, who's being seen as someone who's not experienced, and being seen as a beginner. And I think, we don't want to look that way, which is really pride, I think, most of the time. It's normal. Nobody wants to, and some environments make that harder too, because people can be kind of merciless, just in the environment. Right, and shame you. Yeah. And I was, during the pandemic, when we really had all our income streams dry up, and we were already in work transition period anyway. Yeah. So, anyway, I got the job, driving a dump truck in a quarry. You're going to talk about that. I won't too much, just to say, other than those guys you're working with these rough guys, and you can die, right? If you back I put it in reverse, you could really tumble over the side of a cliff. You hadn't told me that part of the work. Yeah, it really is. It really was there was significant risk of potential. Yeah. Potential of serious injury and death. Yeah. And so safety was it was their first priority, more than productivity was safety. But yeah, they would cuss you out, know. But actually afterwards they would be everybody would come and and joke around and be they always seemed to make a point to end the day. But I was thinking, I just remember feeling very stupid. Right. But yeah, it was quite an enlarging experience. I wonder. I actually think that it's quite helpful for most of us to have that kind of aspect in our life. Where we are made to be a beginner. Yeah. Where we are made to be a learner, and where we are made to feel like we don't know what we're doing. I think it's humbling, but actually that keeps us fresh. Yeah. That keeps us, looking at life creatively. I agree. And they say all these things about longevity too, it's good for your brain to learn. Right. Learn an instrument or learn language, that's great. And we love that thing too. But just at a very much more simple level, I wonder if it's just being willing to go into new environments and being willing to make more friends and being willing to engage, participate in a conversation that, you're not as knowledgeable as the other people talking. And
I have read some research a while ago that it's actually scientifically proven, the right brain, left brain, whatever. I forget which is which. But as we age, one side gets more activated, which means then we are more prone to remember things and go into the past. And that's why, as we get older, we talk like, oh, remember this. And when I was a teenager and whatever, right? And then also when as we age, we get more risk avert and we don't want to try new things. And that's just, I guess, human nature.
Right.
But to make a conscious effort to go against that.
So I wonder which comes first, humility or creativity?
Well, one thing that we can't forget is curiosity.
Yeah,
right.
That's true.
Like curiosity will motivate us to keep ourselves humble, to keep ourselves going into new situations where we are learners and beginners, and that will result in creativity. So I don't know which one goes first.
Do you think that people don't let themselves be curious? Do you think they kind of there is a very definite thing? I was reading an article recently, and it was just in the context of education, and they were just, this person was talking just about how the way some of the education is set up, it really trains kids out of curiosity. Out of curiosity.
Yeah.
And questions, if the teacher feels like the questions are interruptions, it actually can train the kids out of learning.
Yeah. I mean, if I may say, it's not just education, but it's religious institutions or environments.
That's true. Yeah.
Can make us feel like we're not allowed to ask questions.
Yeah.
Right? We're not allowed to doubt.
That's so true.
Yeah. And that kills creativity, doesn't it?
I often tell people, because we meet a lot of people like that with some of the really deep questions that they have, like they bury it and they feel like people feel guilt and like questions about the Bible or things they struggle with,
or where they're really at,
with God. Yeah. And I always tell people, it's like, God's big enough for your questions. That's one. And then the other thing is, like, you're not the first person to ask that or think about that.
Yeah. I said to somebody just yesterday, actually, like, you don't need to defend God.
Yeah.
He's big enough.
Right. So it's coming, and there's a real difference too. And I mean, even if we're in those situations where we're struggling and we're angry at God or something, God is actually big enough for that too.
Right.
And I think we've all experienced moments like that. But there's a real difference when you approach the Lord with questions and like with this honesty, and it's like, God, this is, I don't know about this, or I'm really, why this, or what is this, or explain. Like, that's actually faith. Like, because you're seeking,
you're trusting,
you're seeking the Lord.
Yeah.
You're asking him for an answer. It's a funny thing where people might think the question is some kind of doubt, but it's like, no, that's actually where you deepen your own relationship with the Lord and deepen your faith.
And that's the exciting place in our walk with God, isn't it? Where we've realized that we don't know, which means there is a lot more to discover and to experience in him.
So I'm just thinking for people that are listening and listening to this conversation and thinking along with us, and what are the advantages of why would somebody want to live more this way? More,
you mean creatively
and with curiosity. Like when we say it, when you and I say it, like like what I realize is that I assume everybody wants that, because I know I know the benefits of it. But some people are not looking for that, and some people are like it's just kind of outside of their grid about.
I mean, we're definitely just we tend to be that way anyway, right? Personality or whatever. But I do think that that's a part that God has given in each one of us. Our theme verse, Psalm 27:4. Right? One thing, and I mean, one thing is just to focus and to like really like go after the one thing. But then what is it? It's the beauty of the Lord and inquiring in His temple. And I think like why was David able to say that is the one thing he's after? I think that's like the deepest desire that God's put on the inside of us, to want to see more of His beauty in every situation and every moment and season of our life, and also to just keep inquiring, to keep exploring in Him, because there's just so much depth.
Because that's where we really see the beauty of the Lord.
And that's where our life is too.
Right. That word beauty in Hebrew, it could be translated pleasantness. It's like the attractive. It's the thing that is attractive about God. It's
that draws our heart.
That draws us to Him. Exactly. And I'm sure Jesus is beautiful when you look at Him too. But that's actually not the emphasis.
But that's where we come alive.
Right. But we come alive there. Yeah. And so if we've let ourselves be kind of trained out of curiosity, not letting ourselves ask questions, and not letting ourselves like express doubts. Like I would have to define that a little bit, like with expressing doubts. But I think we need to reframe that. Like there's things we don't know, and it's okay to ask questions, and that's not actually like doubting God or not trusting in Him. If we're seeking Him in those things, then we're actually in a posture of trust.
I think I want to say to whoever may be listening that, and if anybody is feeling like, you're living this Christian life and you feel like, oh, is this all there is? And, you're feeling kind of discouraged, then I want to say very strongly, no, there is more, right? There is more, and it's not boring. It's amazing.
Is there anything specifically, like what are the questions that you are asking the Lord now? What are you most curious about? Anything you want to share?
How about you?
Well, I think this podcast is an expression of some of the questions and curiosity that I really have in the Lord.
I guess that's why we wanted to start this radio, isn't it?
Yeah.
To ask questions and explore.
And I think there's been a lot of reframe for me in that there's something like there's this feeling of I really want to join in the conversation more than like I want to come and teach people. Like there is, like we definitely engage in discipleship and teaching people, and I love teaching the Bible, but it's like I want to discover the things that I don't know, that I don't know yet.
Yeah, and we want to converse with people.
Right.
And get more.
Sometimes finding the new thing is actually you find it in other people's questions. Sometimes I realize other people have better questions than I do, and like I was
asking the right questions.
Yeah, and it's like I was kind of like looking for something here, and I hear somebody else say something, and I'm like, oh, that's what I mean, But you don't hear it unless you don't find it unless you really are engaging with others.
Yeah. So would you say if you have questions and then come join us?
Absolutely.
You have been listening to Wild Branch Radio. Wild Branch is a new missional community based in Tokyo, making space for God's heart. You can find out more about us on our website, wildbranch.jp. If you've enjoyed listening to this episode, please follow us on here and on Instagram and subscribe to our newsletter.